Officials have warned against scams and price gouging as those who evacuated or lost their homes due to the fires have been forced to seek new housing and accommodations. And with us now to help discuss is defense attorney Rachel Fiset. Thank you so much for joining us, Rachel.
Thanks for having me.
Now, let's start off with this. What are some types of common scams that you see when disaster survivors are trying to get help?
There's been multiple scams at this point. Charity scams are very prevalent in that everyone is looking for donations right now, and there are many very good charities doing this work and getting the supplies to people that they need at this point. But there are some scams looking for monetary donations that are not real charities. So people have to do their diligence prior to making a donation to a charity to make sure that they are donating where the money will go to very good use. There are going to be rental scams as it relates to landlords, alleged landlords taking money, saying they have a home because people are desperate for housing. And you again have to look at who you're dealing with and try not to Venmo any deposits. Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, those types of deposits are fairly ripe for scams. You want to pay by credit card or something traceable such that you can get the money back. And then there's also scams relating to FEMA help and claims help that FEMA doesn't charge for some sort of application. Those are meant to get relief easily directly to the consumer. So watch out for people charging for those kinds of applications.
Now, in terms of, let's say, fake websites or even social media posts that people are seeing, is there a way that people can avoid that? Is there a way to verify if it's an actual site that they're clicking on or being asked to pay some money to?
Including GoFundMes, really. GoFundMes, many and most are legitimate, but again, some are not. So you can check out the Better Business Bureau website for anything that would be legitimate. You can look for a .org, that's usually a nonprofit organization, and check that. You really just are trying to do some research on these organizations and looking for a history. And there are also scam alerts that come up on Reddit and other searches. So I would spend some time Googling before any money changes hands right now, because this is such a crisis. People are both desperate to help and desperate to get help. And so everyone's a little vulnerable to this kind of scam.
And before we let you go, I do want to touch on insurance. It can be a lot of paperwork. It can be really stressful as people are recovering from this. When it comes to opening an insurance claim, what are some top things that people should know? What are the first few steps that they should take?
When you're opening an insurance claim, you should make sure you have your right policy number, make sure you have all the correct information. You've generally dealt with a broker. Hopefully you have that information and it didn't burn down. And if it did burn down, you will likely remember your company and you can trace back to your house with your address. But there are going to be some long waits as it relates to insurance, and some insurance companies are paying out timely and they're doing so already, and others have an incredible backlog. So this is going to be somewhat frustrating, but for any of the claims that are relating to fires, you must start with insurance. You can also receive help from FEMA. There are SBA loans that also are giving help to help rebuild. So there are resources out there for people to get money in their hands somewhat immediately. And then there are lawsuits being filed or that will be filed as it relates to additional damages that are not paid by insurance.
And then one more question I do want to ask you about is some of the things I've actually even just seen on social media is people are trying to document their personal property, or I guess what's left of it. What advice do you have for that in terms of people trying to document and list and take an inventory of what they had in their house for insurance purposes?
It's so frustrating at this point because we all have houses full of stuff and stuff that we loved and we've spent so much time gathering, but few of us have taken a strong inventory of what's in our home, kept all the receipts. So you're going to try to go back to credit cards. You're going to try to remember what's in your home. You're going to try to remember when you bought it. Those things are going to matter as to each item in your home as you're trying to sort through everything that has been lost. But I would just start room by room, collective family memory, and make a full list of what was in there, and including all of the personal items to which you may be entitled to reimbursement in some way, such as jewelry, and even mementos that are sentimental to you that may have value.
All right, all good advice. Defense attorney Rachel Fiset, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.